But I'm curious, as a businessman, entrepreneur,
Hmm.
developing major infrastructure in the state of Texas, what does Texas need to do to, as you put it, remain that leader in energy
Yeah.
security, blazing a trail?
Well, look, I spent my entire career, in energy and oil and gas, and there was a lot of intersections. I'm a native New Yorker. I became a COVID refugee, one of the New Yorkers that hightailed it to Texas, and I moved to Texas because things were building. Things were going, in particular in Austin. There was a rise of engineering, there was a rise of companies, there's a rise of tech. You walk around Austin now, everyone's asking, oh, where'd you come from? Oh, what are you building? Is the second question, what are you doing? So it's this attitude of build, build, build. That's Texas. That's one component. The other part of Texas is this kind of raw sovereignty. There is not this social construct, as you can see in other states, as much of, wait a minute, I want my sovereignty of my home, my land. And I just see that extending to the sovereignty of, I'm going to do what I want with my little quarter acre, half acre, an eighth of an acre. That means I'm going to do what I want versus Austin Energy or the utility. I want to put a battery in my house. I want to put a solar panel on my roof. I want to drive a gas car. I want to drive an electric car. Do not tell me what to do. That is Texas. I think that will prevail. I think that will extend itself through a lot of the lands in West Texas. And I think as you get the regulation and the regulatory parts out of the way, you're going to see a phenomenal growth in batteries, solar, continued growth in natural gas, continued growth in exports of LNG. That's there. And I just think Texas, it's in its DNA to be like that. And I think that's what's going to prevail. What I think we saw in the last legislative session was lots of rules. Well, wait a minute, I can't put solar here because I'm 100 feet from there. Well, wait a minute, maybe I don't want you to have cattle here. So it's like that just goes against everything that's Texas. So I'm very hopeful there. I think there's certain areas that could do a lot better. The complexity to put solar on my roof in Austin is surreal in terms of getting rates and down. You can go into supermarkets in Germany and just buy balcony solar and batteries and plug it in your wall, and all of a sudden you're getting power. If we did that across Texas, you'd see yet another wave. So this goes into more a regulatory history of utilities, which basically are socialized costs, which a lot
Yep.
of times Texas says we don't like that socialism thing. But fundamentally, transmission grid, a distribution grid, a generation grid that's shared, a water grid, those are all socialized costs. And what you have with distributed energy resources is the antithesis of it. It is sovereign energy. It is sovereign, low cost forever energy that you're off grid. That has to resonate with Texas. So I think that's where the policy goes. That's what you've seen rising.